I should just leave it alone. Okay. But in any case, I just restarted the whole recording. So hi, Tabitha. I know you jumped on in the middle. I know most of the people are going to be catching the replay on this. Um, but because it's a holiday weekend, so enjoy your family. When you come back, we'll be here. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is called the four vital behaviors. And I heard this on a call last week in the Push Elite, which is this group that I'm in from a, and the coach who was talking on our call reminded me how important these are. And so maybe you've heard of these, maybe you haven't. Um, but these vital behaviors are what Beachbody has come up with as these are literally the vital behaviors that we need to do as coaches to be growing our business. It's not, and these are behaviors, these are not activities. And I want to talk about each of them and explain what I interpret them to be. So the first one, number one, is be proof the product works. And the reason for that is we are our billboards. We are the billboard for Tabitha. We're the billboard for Alana's business. We're the billboard for, Evan's business. We are the face, and what we do with the products that we have shows others what is possible. And in order for us to get those kinds of results, we have to be on fire with our results. If you are already in your goal body or very close to it, you need to wake up every day and rock it in your stories, in your posts. Tell people how you got here. Tell people how it feels to be here. Tell people how it felt before you felt this way. If you are on your journey, you need to talk about the journey that you've been on. You need to talk about the mindset shifts that you're having. You need to talk about where you started and where you are now and where you want to be going. And you need to be in love with the workout program you're doing if you're doing one. If you're not in love with any of the new ones and you're doing something older, that's totally okay. If if you're doing Morning Meltdown 100 and you're loving it, or if you're going back to MBF, or if you're going all the way back and you're doing T25, like whatever it is that you're doing, love it. Make sure that you love it so much that you can't wait to get up and do it. And maybe you don't really want to get it started, but you know that every single time that you do that workout, in the middle of it, you're in love with it. And at the end of it, you are like so high because you love the way you feel. All your endorphins are going. You felt like you're getting the results that you want with it. You love it. Same thing with your nutrition plan. If you are a coach, you need to be either doing To Be Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix. And you need to be loving it. And if you are doing the containers and they're not working for you, stop doing them. Please stop doing them. Do To Be Mindset. If you're doing To Be Mindset and you feel like you're falling off all the time because it's not structured enough, stop doing it. Change the containers. But the important thing too is become so familiar with it that you are completely capable of basically self-coaching yourself through these programs because you've spent time with Autumn in the videos, you've spent time with Alana Molstein in the videos, you've watched the videos, you've gone through the troubleshooting. You need to be a model for the nutrition program that you're doing. And same thing with the products, like the nutrition and the fitness, those are our products, but Shakeology, find a recipe you love, talk about it all the time, talk about what it's done for you. Energize, Bevy, Effie Bevy. Like I use all of the products. I've never used creatine, and that's probably the only one that I've never used. But in my house right now, hopefully my husband has his ears plugged. I've got collagen, I've got Effie Bevy, I've got two flavors of Energize, some that I send away, one that I use. I've got sampler pack over here of Shakeology. I've got 3 flavors of vegan Shakeology that I send out as samples. I've got some salted caramel Shakeology that I send out. I've got, I use Hydrate. I use, what are the other things? I use regular Bevy. I use Recover when I work out. Like there's so much. Oh, Beach Bars. We all eat the Beach Bars. Daily Sunshine. Yeah, like all of it. We have everything. We have literally everything. Um, Sometimes I use a digestive boost. Sometimes I don't really use the focus boost now because heavy bevy, greens, I eat a ton of greens. So personally, I don't use that one. There are people who might need it and it's available if they need it. I use all of it all the time, more than once a day sometimes. Like sometimes I'll have two Shakeologies a day. Sometimes I'll have a scoop in my shake, and then like if I want the pudding later, sometimes I do that. But I love and use every single product that I can get my little paws on, and I know what it does for my body. I know how to talk about it. I've had the results with it. I can tell people why they will like it. I can tell people why what it's going to do for them. I can tell them what it's done for me. That is the level of obsessed with these products that I am. I am proof the products work because I have my before story. I have my, progress, and I have where I am today that to me, saying I've learned how to do the workouts consistently. I've learned how to make a shake that I love. I have learned that I like 2B Mindset better than Ultimate Portion Fix, but I don't know that. I wouldn't know that if I didn't do Ultimate Portion Fix first. I've done Time Nutrition, I've done carb cycling, I've done the vegan meal plan, I've done 2B Mindset vegan, I've done 2B Mindset regular, I've done Portion Fix regular, I've done Portion Fix vegan. I've done all of it and I've tried all of it. Oh, and I've got a 3-day refresh here. I use that too. I can talk about it. I have containers. I have um, more, things that I use myself and I share with people. I just sent out. There's a girl who she ordered a challenge pack yesterday. Last week, she's like, I don't know what flavor I want. I was like, well, here, let me just quickly pop 2 in the mail. So I sent her 2 packets, a vanilla and a chocolate Shakeology. I also sent her a Bevy stick and I sent her an Energize stick. And she was just going to order the challenge pack. She ended up ordering the Energize as well because I'd sent her one to try. She liked it. Great. Like I love it. And I knew she was going to love it. So I sent her one. Be the proof the product's working, but you have to love them. You cannot be a coach and not love what we do and not love the products and not love the results. And in order to get the results that you love, you have to use the products and learn about them and learn what they do for you and, figure out how they're going to help somebody else. Okay. So that's vital behavior number 1. Be the proof the products work. Number 2, it's called invite, invite, invite. But there's more that goes into it. So in order to invite, we can't just message people, right? It really needs to be connect, engage, invite. Because sending a bunch of cold messages to people can get weird and it's kind of uncomfortable and not everybody likes it. And really, this business is about building relationships with people. So we can't invite people unless we're expanding our networks. We can't invite people unless we're connecting with people that we've expanded our networks with. We can't invite people unless we've had a conversation with them before, which is why I have a tracker for you guys in the Team Ambition page, and it goes over all of these daily activities that make up this kind of like the portion of our business activities, the income producing activities, which is growing your network, having conversations with people, inviting people, following up with people. That's the business, that's the income producing activities for our business. And there's a tracker in the unit well, sorry, it's not units, the guide section of Team Ambition, that if you go in there, you can download it. And really, you should be using that tracker every day. If you're not using that tracker, use the Beachbody Business Activity Tracker. There's a digital tracker in the back office for you to go in and fill out digitally every day, and you can be tracking your progress. So inviting, and this is something that you're not going to turn into a 6-figure, multi-million dollar, 10-star diamond coach overnight just by doing this once or twice. Like, you have to be consistent about it. You have to expand your network every day. You have to have brand new, hey, hello, how are you? My name is Alana and I have 2 dogs and a kid. What's your name? Like, you have to get to know people, and then you can connect with them, start, learning about them, engage on their stuff. Like it's all a process. So even though vital behavior number 2 is invite, 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 it's not just invite. It's the whole process. It's like the hustle of what we do. It's like that's what gets us results. That's the work that people don't love to do. We love to use the products. I love to drink my shake every day. Posting about it can be fun, like all of these things. That's more fun than getting in your inbox, doing the nitty gritty work that is going to get us where we want to get in our business. It's going to get us people to talk to. It's going to help us connect with people who need what we have. The world needs what we have. Every single person wants health and wealth. And those are two things that we can offer people who are willing to work for it. And so by inviting them, we're doing is offering it, but they get to choose whether they accept it. And it's very hard to invite somebody if you haven't built a relationship with them first. Vital activity number 3 is recognize. This is a fun one because this is where if you're helping people and they're getting results, you get to recognize them for getting those results. And as a coach, it is super fun to recognize you guys as coaches and say, oh my gosh, like Carolyn's at Success Club 6. And, see what you guys are doing and see you posting your stuff on Team Icon and see you guys getting your tank tops and see you guys rank advancing. And, Evan's a ruby and she's super close to diamond. And, seeing what you're doing, I get to recognize you guys, but we also get to recognize our challengers, which is why we have the the challenger of the week in our groups, and which is why we have shout outs and like if somebody has a birthday, I recognize their birthday in our group. If somebody completes a program, we recognize them. Any teeny tiny itty bitty thing that we can find to recognize people with, they feel so good. It's like, I ask to use people's like kind of like testimonials or exciting wins in my stories, and I get to recognize them publicly and other people get to see what they're doing. And I get to recognize other coaches, which is fun, like other coaches on our larger team. It's fun to recognize them and post their stories, but really it's to show, to show what's happening, to show everybody else who's not in our challenge groups, who's not on our coaching team, to show them what is possible when they join us. And that's what recognition is about. It's to make the people who are doing the hard work, to tell them, I see you there working really hard, and I keep going because you're doing an awesome job. And it's also to show other people that this is possible when you join us. This is possible when you join our community for fitness. This is possible when you join our community as a coaching team. Same thing. Like sometimes Melissa will post and sometimes I'll post like Thursday, like on payday, like what were you able to do with your paycheck today? And then to be able to celebrate that with you, like maybe you could put gas in your car, maybe you could buy groceries for the week, maybe you paid for your Shakeology that month, maybe you paid for swimming lessons for your kids. It's the teeniest tiniest things. Maybe you bought sports equipment for your kids. Whatever it is, like those teeny tiny things, they are big wins, and recognizing them is so 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 important. And there's this great quote: what is recognized gets repeated. So when people continually are able to say, hey, I paid for my groceries this week, and you recognize them, yes, it feels good for them to pay for their groceries, and yes, it also feels good for them to tell us about it, and we get to celebrate them. If I could say, hey, you did your tracker 100% this week, way to go, I'm going to recognize you. And then you're like, oh, not only did I do my tracker 100% this week, but she also saw it and said awesome job, so maybe I'm going to keep doing it. And that's important, because every single thing that we recognize is something that the people that we recognize, they are going to repeat. There we go. So that's number 3, recognize people's achievements, no matter how big. And number four is so, so big. And I feel like even though I talk about it a little bit, we don't do it enough as a team. I guarantee you that each one of us can be doing this more, and that's personal development. We all need to be doing this more. I feel like I do a lot, and I probably do a lot more than probably most coaches, but I feel like I need to do more. Personal development and personal growth, really what that is learning how to deal with that mean voice in your head. And whatever it is that you have limiting beliefs about, that's what you need to be doing personal development on. So if you have a mean girl in your head that says you'll never lose weight, or you'll never be able to coach anybody because you haven't gotten results of your own, or you'll never be able to, earn enough money to, quit your job, or you'll never be able to earn enough money to pay for your Shakeology every month, or whatever those beliefs are in your head, or you're not in shape, so people, you're not in your goal body, so nobody wants to follow you, or you are in your goal body, so everybody thinks that what you have is, not duplicatable, or we everybody has limiting beliefs that stop them from reaching their full potential, and personal development gets through that and allows you to kind of break through the clutter, find the truth in it, and then build affirmations to disprove those limiting beliefs. And so I want to share with you what personal development looks like for me. Okay. So I get up in the morning and I brush my teeth, and I just listened to this book called Soundtracks by John Acuff, which I highly recommend. But there's something in it, he calls it the anthem. And I'm trying it out for 30 days. And I've missed a couple days here and there, and that's okay. But for 30 days, my goal is in the morning and the evening, and this sounds totally silly, but you stand in front of the mirror and you literally say into the mirror, you read this anthem to yourself, which is basically like you just kind of hype yourself up. It's like these are truths that I know, like, momentum is messy and good things are always happening to me. Like, the point is that our brains can be rewired. And when we repeat these positive things, it rewrites the negative things. But we have to repeat positive things that directly counteract the negative things that we've told ourselves for, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And that's the point of personal development, is that's why it's personal. It has to be personal, because your limiting belief is not the same as my limiting belief, which is not the same as somebody else's limiting belief. Otherwise, there would be a system that every coach would follow, and every coach would be a millionaire within their first month. Okay. But it's not the way it works. The way that personal growth works is you have to figure out what is stopping you, first of all, which is hard. And then you have to figure out what is going to help you overcome it. And then you actually have to do that. And those three things are very, very challenging to do, because it's uncomfortable, because you're literally disproving and going against what you have learned in your environment and what you've told yourself for your whole life. And it's uncomfortable and awful when you're in it. And then when you're over it, new things come up. And so it's this long-term, lifelong growth. And we all need to be doing more of it. So that's what I do first thing in the morning. I'm trying to read this thing to myself first thing in the morning. Okay. Then I get up, do my morning, driving to work, drop off Garrett. When I drop off Garrett, I turn on a book in the car and I listen to it. Okay. Then I listen to it to work. It's not very long. It's like 10 minutes. Oh, by the way, Four Vital Behaviors says personal development, read 10 pages or listen to a book for 15 minutes. That's not enough. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot overcome a lifetime of limiting beliefs in 15 minutes a day. If we could, life would be different, but we can't. I I have been working on me for 4 years and I made great progress, but I need more. Like, I do, I need more. And maybe there are some people who don't need as much as me, but I don't know. Okay, so I drive to work, I listen to a book, usually an audiobook on Audible. Okay. Then I get to work, blah, blah, blah. I go home for lunch. So for my lunch hour, I will either get on a live call. I'm in a group that has live calls Monday and Wednesday. I'll listen to that live call from somebody who speaks directly to limiting beliefs of coaches everywhere. We talk, like, I listen to this call. So personal development, business development in my ear for an hour, Monday and Wednesday live. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes I will find another call either from, the archives of the group or a team call from some other, something. I'll find something, or maybe a replay from the Superstar series. I will listen to that. I'll have something, some sort of coach related, Beachbody related, more marketing, something related business training in my ears for my lunch hour 5 days a week. Sometimes four, sometimes not always five. Okay. Then go home. Like I drive home, listen to personal development. Usually I've got something in my ear until my family gets home, usually about the same time as me. But again, while I'm driving, I'm always listening to something. And then sometimes there's calls at night. Sometimes Tuesday nights, I will also listen to the Superstar series call. Or, if we have a special team call, I'll do that. Then and then we get to the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, like I have housework to catch up on, laundry to fold, laundry to wash, vacuuming, cleaning, whatever I'm doing. I'll have a book in my ear, Audible usually, just because it goes and goes and goes, or I find a podcast to listen to, and I'll listen to a couple podcasts episodes from that podcast, in a row, because it's, or find different ones, but mostly it's an audiobook that I have going. So that means that I'm listening to, I usually go through an audiobook a week if I'm really listening a lot. And often I will repeat them, because just one and done like usually doesn't do it for me. So I've got some that I've listened to 4 or 5 times because I still get things from them. But I am always, 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 I have something in my ear going into my brain, helping me to see my blind spots and giving me tools to help work through them. And that's what the personal development listening looks like. Then, if there comes a time that I find I'm just like hitting a wall with some sort of issue, I'll sit down and journal about it. I will ask myself, what is this and why am I stuck on it? And then I'll just write what comes out. And then, and this is the extra work that you sometimes have to do to work through problems. Like you have to do the work. You can't just absorb the information without doing the work. It's like watching all of the Ultimate Portion Fix videos and then not implementing them. You're not going to lose weight just by watching Autumn talk about, the trash can full of sugar. It's not going to work unless you implement it. So when you come to something that is not working in your head and your personal development is challenging you and making you feel horrible and uncomfortable and you don't know why, journal about it, write it out, and then figure, what I've done in the past. And I don't think I have it in this book. One of my other journals, like I have a couple pages where I wrote out this whole long thing and I highlighted the things that made me feel the ickiest. And then I wrote positive affirmations about those. And I would write those every morning for like 2 or 3 weeks until I stopped feeling weird about it. And I just like replaced this negative weirdness with basically new rewiring in my brain. And it helps you get through, like, I don't have the confidence to do this, nobody's going to buy from me, I can't be I can't be a successful coach because X, Y, or Z. Those are the things that we need to work through, and we all have them, but again, they're very, 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 very personal to you, and that's why we have to work on personal development. So those are the 4 vital behaviors: be the proof the product works, invite, recognize, and personal development. Very, 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 very important. And we'll talk more about these. And I might even do, I might even go live in Team Ambition and do like individual videos about these, just because I want them to become more a part of our team culture, because they are essential. And I don't know where they have been in my head for like the past year, because for some reason, when she said them on the call the other day, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot those exist. So here we are. Tabitha, do you have any questions? I think I muted you. Hopefully you can unmute yourself. I think you can unmute yourself. Hi.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I guess my biggest thing right now is I kind of keep watching who's watching my stories and stuff, and I haven't talked to these people in like years. I mean, like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to address them without sounding like a commercial.
Oh, well, I would just say, "Hey," I just send them a message and say, "Hey, thanks for watching my stories. Hope you're having a great day." And then they're like, "Oh, she saw me watching."
Just something that simple.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had this one girl I went to high school with who's extremely funny, and she wrote this whole comedic little strip. Like, I was doing a push-up and I got my flip-flop, caught on my barbell on the floor or something. Like, I mean, it was just this whole little comedic strip. And then I'm like, if you went to, did a comedy show, I would be there, so much be there. And how are you doing? She's like, I'm doing good. And if I can't handle it, I just laugh or I would cry. And I, d- I was like, well, laughing's a whole lot better. I didn't know what to say. And then, like, a day or so later, I'm like, is she trying to reach out to me?
Yeah.
You know,
Usually that's
I didn't know.
go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's actually that's perfect. Like, we don't have to jump at people with what we have. And I don't recommend
Right.
jumping at people with what we have. I recommend, and this is where tracking your conversations comes in super
Mhm.
handy, where maybe you send them, like, so here's an example. You see who's watching your stories one day, you send everybody a message, just say, "Hey, thanks for watching my stories. Hope you're having a great day." 2 or 3 days later, you know, go comment on their pictures or, interact with them in some way. A couple days
Mhm.
later, and if they respond to you and say, "Oh, hey, like, I love watching your stories, blah, blah, blah," just have a be normal. Just be cool, dude. Like, be normal. And just, have a normal conversation and let it end. It's okay to just let it end. And then, like, 2 or 3 days later, maybe you see them still watching your stories. Then you can be like, "Hey, I don't know if you saw in my stories, I got a group starting in June. Can I send you some information?" And then it's like, it's so normal. It feels really weird to us because in our head
Mhm.
we're planning out what's going on, but to everybody else, it's a normal conversation, and then it's a normal course of life. It's like, here's the thing. Imagine this. So here's a really great way to go about this. Imagine you're talking to somebody that is an acquaintance of yours in person and that you see them every so often in person. So, like, you run into somebody on the street and you're like, "Oh, hey, like, so good to see you. Hope you're having a great day." And then, like, you part ways and it's fine. And then the next day you see them, at the grocery store. You're like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" Like, "Oh gosh, I love your shirt. You look great." Um, and then a couple days later, you see them again and you're like, "Oh, it's so good to see you. Hey, I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's a new coffee shop in town. Have you been?" Because you've been and you love it. And it's not about your, like, detach yourself from the situation, yourself and your business and your product. All you're doing is recommending something to somebody because you like it. And if it's not weird to say, "Hey, I found this super cute little coffee shop and I love it. You should totally try it." That's
Mhm.
not weird because we do that all the time. We recommend restaurants. We say, "Oh my gosh, like, I had the best meal," or "I had this great coffee," or "I love this chiropractor," or, whatever it happens to be. We recommend stuff all the time. In this
Right.
case, all we're doing is just recommending something that we do also. And yes, we get paid for it, but that's where we get hung up, is because we know that we're going to be asking them for money and to pay for it, right?
Right.
So if you
And so
take,
I just, I kind of have like, there's like a list of people. I haven't written it down. I really need to write it down, but there's like a list of people that are watching my stories every day, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting that this same group of people are watching my stories every day. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And so I didn't know exactly how now, okay, the other question I have is like, how do you deal with, I guess I'm just more focused on women. I have a lot of men watching my stories.
Mhm.
I even had a guy friend who was a super great, I mean, like one of my best friends from high school, but I seriously haven't seen him since high school, say I need to lose weight.
Mhm.
And our group is really focused on women. And I don't even know what to say to him. And he's like a chef.
Mhm.
and I don't know what to say because he made a comment. He's like, "Oh man, I put on weight on COVID and I just can't lose it." And I just thumbs upped it. I didn't know I didn't know what to say because I see because I'm very I don't feel comfortable, inviting men, but yet I know there are plenty of men out there that want this. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Okay, so I've got 3 things. So to go back to your stories, I have an assignment for you. Tonight,
Okay.
when we get off the call, I want you just to go through your stories and anybody that you want to work with, not, well, okay, no, let me rephrase. For this one, I want you to message every single person that watches so like, when you go to your stories and like the very first one that usually has the highest number of people, right?
Mhm.
So I want you to go to that one, message each of those people and say, "Hey, saw you watching my stories, just wanted to say hi. Hope you're doing great and having a great Memorial Day weekend."
Mhm.
That's all you're going to do. I just want you to
Okay.
get comfortable messaging people from your stories, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So then the second thing um is we don't have to work with guys if we don't want to. Just because they need help, we can't help everybody. Unless it's somebody you really feel connected to and you feel like they would really benefit from working with you and you want to work with them. But if it's just some random who you're like, "Oh, I think I can help you, but I haven't really talked to you that much since high school." It's
Yeah.
okay not to be able to help everybody. I do not really work with guys at all. If somebody once referred me a guy and I signed him up, but basically I was like, "Listen, like mostly who I work with is women. If they really like see what you're doing, like I tell people like this is what I do, this is what I do for my clients, which is like I have a group, blah blah blah. But Tony has a group that if there's a guy who wants a challenge group, I put them in Tony's group.
Mm. Okay. Are you there? Did I
Yeah,
lose you?
no, I'm here.
Okay. My AirPods made a little beepy noise. Let me
Oh.
put the other one in just in case. Well, I was just curious about that because I don't feel comfortable inviting men into the group we're in at this moment because I'll
Yeah,
be
no.
honest,
I would say no because no. No
okay,
guys.
well, my focus is mostly women that are like perimenopausal and older.
Mhm,
And those are like the people that are watching my story because they're my age and older.
mhm.
And I want to let you know my aunt lost 3 to 4 pounds. She hadn't got to weigh while she was on vacation. She's
Mhm.
ecstatic.
Good. Oh my gosh.
She just didn't give it enough time.
Okay,
She just
good.
didn't give it enough time.
Yeah,
And
I know,
she's
I'm
very
like
paranoid. And she's like 74. And the
mhm,
other lady is like 74 too that are doing it. And that's kind of piqued people's interests. Like I have another lady that messaged me that said that she wants to do it, but she's got to find out how much her child's dance costumes and stuff are going to cost first.
mhm,
And she's in her mid 50s. And then I have another lady who's in her 70s that is interested as soon as the gluten-free cookies and creamy come out for her and her
mhm.
daughter. Her daughter's my age and they're very overweight, but I don't know how her daughter eats. But anyway, she just got through doing shoulder replacement
Okay.
surgery, but they're very, very interested in the cookies and creamy. And I'm sitting here like, it's not
Yeah.
out yet.
Well, okay, so unless they are like super, 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 super sensitive celiacs,
Hmm.
they can drink the vegan regular whatever, either Shakeology. I know 2 people who have celiacs and they can both drink Shakeology fine.
Well, my aunt is gluten sensitive, and
Mhm,
I accidentally ordered her the whey, and I
mhm,
didn't mean to. I meant to send her the vegan vanilla,
mhm,
and she loves the shake. I mean, just loves it.
mhm.
And um, I didn't tell her it was whey. I don't think she
Oh,
realizes
no. Yeah, I mean, with the gluten
because she really doesn't eat much dairy
yeah,
because she went through these testings with some type of machine that the Zyto machine that like does body rhythmic things.
hmm,
I can't remember what it is, but that's what her friends went through too. So,
okay.
um, and has been diagnosed as gluten sensitive, lactose sensitive. I went through this and I was neither.
Okay.
The lady was like, I can't believe it. You're like the first person that's ever done this that wasn't gluten sensitive. But
Right. So
anyway,
so
um,
with the with Shakeology, and you can tell this to people, is that there are no ingredients in it that have gluten, but
mhm.
because the facilities that they have right now, they are um they and I don't know what the process is, but for now, until the gluten, whatever, the certified gluten free comes out, they have in the same facility, I don't even think it's the same equipment, they do process gluten in that facility. And so
Okay, so there's actually no gluten in the
right,
product.
right.
It's just processed in a facility that processes gluten. So there may accidentally be some cross
Right, it
contamination.
might float through the air and land in something, and if somebody is so
Because I
sensitive.
kept thinking there wasn't any ingredients in
Right,
it that had gluten, so I was really confused when they come out with the
right.
gluten.
So they
And
just
my
haven't
aunt,
gone through the process to get certified as gluten-free, which has a different level of, like, there can be no gluten in the building.
okay, okay, I didn't realize that. And my aunt like takes fish oil, for the omega-3s and probiotics. I'm like, you can quit taking those when these come out, when this cookie and creamy. There's no need for you to take those 2 supplements with this. That
Mhm,
can save you money because you're
mhm.
spending like, $50 a month for that.
Oh, yeah, and
And
multivitamins too. I mean, I tell people to check with their doctor, but, like, I tell my doctor, like, "I don't take a multi because I'm drinking this every day," and they're like, "That's awesome.
mhm,
You don't need a multi."
yeah.
So,
Well, I told her the multi was fine because they sell a multivitamin. She buys the Pure name brand.
hmm,
Um, I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of it because it's one of those real organic, um, I don't know, from the lady that does that other stuff. So, um, and so does her friend and the other girl that's around my age. So I have some prospects, and then I have some people who keep watching my stories
okay.
that I was just, and I just haven't reached out. I mean, I guess my excuse is I keep trying to build up my, what they're seeing and they're used to seeing from me. And I keep trying to do my family, my music, God, and, the 5 things that you said to keep posting about, the
Mhm,
5 most important things. So I keep trying to rotate it and I want it to just be very positive and very
mhm.
fun and appealing. So,
So you're feeling like you need to build your brand more before you reach out to people? Is that what you're saying?
well, I feel like I've probably done that now, and I now need to get up the courage to start reaching out to people.
I agree.
Okay.
And
Because
I'll be
I've,
honest with you, you could be reaching out to people from day one. You don't need to build, and it's good that you are, but in reality, the people that you are going to be reaching out to right now are already people who know you, and they already like you because you're still new enough that you don't have a huge following of people who you are expanding your network and you've never met before. So that's
I'm
considered like,
getting some huge views on my stories. Some of my stories get up to like 70 something views.
wow, nice.
I mean, I'm getting some huge views, but I will honestly say that 50% of that's men. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
pretty good.
"Ugh," and
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched my stories recently because I've done a lot of videos. I bought the video cutter so I can make them longer. And I keep trying to put words and stuff over body placement to look more modest because
Mhm.
again, I'm a employee in a church.
Right.
I don't look naked. I don't know how to say it. But I appreciate the men watching, but the women are who I'm going after. So
Yeah. And I mean, just remember, you are not required or obligated to work with anybody you don't want to. And it doesn't matter. Does
Okay.
not have to be a reason why you don't want to work with them. Your reason
Okay.
is that you don't want to. And that is a perfectly good reason.
All
Because
right.
if there's somebody, and it could be a man or a woman, if there's a woman that you don't want to work with, don't feel like you have to work with them, because
Mhm.
you are building your business of people who fire you up and who you get to inspire, and you want to be able to check in on these people. I have people who are my
Mhm.
customers and I dread sending them messages. And I'm sitting here thinking, why am I even sending this person a message? And I just need to cut it out. Okay. So I need to take my own advice and just stop messaging people who I don't want to work with.
Mhm.
But you get to choose.
Okay. That was my one thing, because I know, because some of the people that I've watched on some of the other blogs that, I mean, groups that you guys have put me in, I was like, get your husband in and get him to start building a group. My husband's just not there. I mean, he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I've been a coach for four and
I'm
a half
not
years,
doing
and,
that.
and my husband doesn't. He doesn't have anything to do with my business.
No.
He let me open an account in his name because I can make more money with it, and there we
Mm.
go.
But he's like, no, I can't. He doesn't want to eat this way. He doesn't want to do any of these extra. He hates Shanti in my room. He's like, men should not dress like that. Men should not look like that. I'm like, well, you didn't mind him with hip hop abs, 15 years ago when I bought the DVDs.
Yeah.
But he's like looking at me like, why are you watching this guy? But he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't get upset because his mom, did Richard Simmons for years. So,
Right. Oh gosh.
so anyway,
So do you have any questions about the four vital behaviors before we?
what were they? I'm sorry. You're going to
That's
have
okay.
to refresh me again.
Sure.
I'd have to listen again.
Be the proof the products work. Inviting and everything that goes along with it. Oh, are you doing a tracker?
I have my own. I can send you a picture of it. I have a printout
Okay.
of all my containers and kind of like four different little meal sets with like fruits and
Oh,
the
sorry.
blues and
I
the
mean,
oranges.
are you doing a business tracker?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. I'm going to tag you in Team Ambition. There's
Okay.
there's a video about how it works, and then you can print off a PDF, and it's a daily business activity tracker. The other thing too,
Mhm.
I don't have my phone handy. If you go into your back office and you're on your phone and it brings up that like panel of tiles,
Mhm.
the top left one says digital business activity tracker.
Mhm.
So you can choose whichever one you like better, but I want you to be doing a tracker every day,
Okay.
because that's going to make sure that you do personal development, that you do your invites, that you recognize people, that you post in your challenge group, that you post in your stories, that you post on your page. Like it's all the things we have to do, and it gives you a checklist to just go through and check them off.
I guess so far the thing I'm not doing is personal invites. I feel like I'm doing about everything else.
Okay. So, and also it has
I haven't
inviting.
got over that fear yet.
Okay. So and here's the thing too. It has inviting to a challenge group, and it also has inviting to the business, which
Mhm.
if you want to build a business, you have to invite other people to coach with you.
Right.
So, and again, I mean, if you don't invite people, basically you have an expensive hobby.
When does the preferred customer start?
Probably in the fall, but I wouldn't worry about that. I tell everybody, I'm like, listen, I'm signing you up for a discount. And if they don't like it, they'll tell me. And if they want a discount, they'll sign up that way.
Okay, because when I first signed up, she signed me up as a coach, get a good discount. I felt like I was thrown into it way too fast, and I was like, I don't know that I want all this yet. So that's when I stopped. And the shakes were making me sick, and they don't make me sick now. It
Mhm,
took about a month for them not to make me sick. So they must have been working on something in my gut,
mhm.
is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's very possible. But yeah, I mean,
because I've
if
read
there's
a lot
something
about
that you
that.
felt uncomfortable with when you first signed up, make sure that you
Mhm.
communicate that particular thing to the people that you sign up so that
Mhm.
they know what to expect. Or if they don't feel comfortable, that you can tailor the experience for them.
So, anyway, I was like the one lady that about the dance, she's like, "Oh, I've had very bad, experiences with shakes." And I was telling her we had vegan ones and they were more gentle on your system. But like with my aunt and my mother-in-law, I told him, you're kind of on this, but I can show you how to back off. But once my aunt got the shake, she loved it. I'm not sure about my mother-in-law yet.
Yeah. If
I've
your
been
aunt is
questioning her to see, so
if your aunt is loving them
she's
and
loving them.
yeah, and if
She's
she
like, I can drink them all day, is what she
yeah,
told me.
have her sign up for the discount.
Right. And that's what I was kind of waiting on to do for the preferred customer. So she didn't have to do, she's very kind of paranoid. I don't know that she'd want to give her social
Yeah.
security number and stuff yet.
But here's the
So
thing,
that's why I was,
you don't know until you ask, right?
yeah, that's
Same thing with
true.
inviting. You don't know until you ask. And
That's
it's
true.
not our job to prejudge and to make decisions for people. Our job is to offer them the best deal. And the best deal is to get
Right.
a discount. And they get to
Cause
make
she
the
was
decision.
like, can you get it for me? You buy it and I pay you. I'm like, Candy, I would get the same discount that you would get.
Yeah.
I was just like, it wouldn't matter. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, because if she is drinking it, she's going to be the best customer you have. And she's going to be an
right.
active coach all the time. And you're going to be halfway to Emerald. Or are you already halfway to Emerald? Do you already have a coach signed up?
No, no, but my aunt is the one who was telling her friend that the gluten-free shakes was coming out, and she said she wanted to do it if her daughter would do it with her. So that would be even if they live together, so even if they only bought one membership, they'd still need two shakes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you can order whatever you want, yeah, once
right.
yeah, so, yeah,
So,
absolutely. I mean, my personal philosophy is I sign everybody up as a coach if they want it. I offer it to everybody, and I tell them it's the
mm,
best deal. If they don't wanna keep it, they can cancel whenever they want to and just pay full price. Either way, it's okay.
right. So, but anyway, that's what's going on with me.
Okay, excellent. Oh, sorry, I guess we got sidetracked. The other two were recognize and personal development. So, are you good on like celebrating other people? And
Oh, on our group? Oh, yeah, and
okay,
I messaged my 2 people, say, "I know, how you guys doing? You haven't posted anything," and they're like, "Oh, this happened." I'm like, "Tell us about it." My aunt's like, "I got new shoes." I'm like, "Tell us about it."
yeah,
Even though it's new workout shoes, that's cool. She, like, had a meal, and I'm like, take a picture and post of it." I mean,
yeah.
I'm like, so, yeah, I'm doing that. And I've been watching a lot of the Zoom stuff. I My Zoom comes in and out sometimes, so I have a hard time with that. Sometimes it's wonky. So, I
What
feel like I've
what
been doing
about
that.
what about books? What about personal development books?
Well, I haven't been doing books. Mostly I've been doing the the lives of all the big coaches that you guys have been coming on. Like the one you said was your spirit animal and the there's been several of those and like the videos that they have on getting started and stuff like that.
Okay, so it sounds like so again, maybe I'll have another assignment for you too. So in addition to going, just sending a quick message to everybody in your stories, totally
hmm
unrelated to Beachbody, I want you to pick a personal development book, either that you can
Well,
read.
I downloaded I went to the library and got the audiobook of the one you said in the group.
Oh, good. Well, perfect.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
a
so
great.
I have that to listen to.
Okay, good. Yeah, and that'll be great. Yeah, and then just again, it's very personal. So, that's a great one to start with. I can't wait to listen to that one. And then, you know,
And
Well,
I've been
you
listening
finished.
to Autumn's podcasts.
I don't listen to hers.
Oh, okay. I've been listening to a lot of hers because she's
Okay.
had people on it that like started It Cosmetics and um the guy that wrote, I don't know, the book about eating. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Eat Smarter or something.
Mhm.
And I can't remember. I've listened to multiple of her podcasts. I'm on her podcast group. Well,
Okay.
it's a on my podcast subscription.
Okay. Good. Yeah, and just to kind of clarify, there is a difference between business development and personal development. Like if you're
Hmm.
somebody who needs to learn about nutrition for personal reasons,
Hmm.
absolutely Autumn is great. But if you're just, if it's just something that you like and you're interested in, it's almost a little bit like, maybe like I would read a fiction book just because I enjoy it, or like, I'd listen to music because I enjoy it. It doesn't help me grow as a person necessarily. So that's what the personal development is. It is different than watching. So like a lot of some of the coach calls can have some good recommendations for personal growth, but they are not a personal development resource.
Mm.
Books written by authors specifically about personal growth and development, that's what personal development is. Podcasts are great and they're a really good resource. And even there are some really good like personal development podcasts, but they're short. They're like 30 to 45 minutes versus
Hmm.
having, 4 or 5 hours of listening on the same topic from the same author. That is what personal development is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, well, no, then I have not been doing that.
Well, let's get started doing that.
Okay. I mean, a lot of things that Autumn has, like the girl that started It Cosmetic, that was really good because it took her like 5 years of continually asking Sephora Beauty Company almost every week, will you carry us? Will you carry us? And all that kind of stuff of, what she was doing. That was now the Eat Smarter thing was nutrition, but I listened to a lot of nutrition podcasts.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and that's great for
um,
you. Like, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm also saying
or YouTube videos.
right. Yeah. So, I mean, all I'm saying is it's very important to choose personal development based on your loudest mean girl in your head. So, like, what's like, I know here on the call tonight, you've said, I haven't been able to get up the courage to invite the people watching my stories. Why? Like, go, and you don't have to tell me, like, go
Well, no, I
sit
will tell
down.
you because I
Okay.
haven't talked to them in 20 years and I don't even know what to say.
Okay. Well, what do you think they would say?
I don't know. I mean, that I guess is the fear of the unknown of what they would say,
Okay. So
or
so
if
does it
they would say anything. Like I
okay.
tried when I first started, I like vomited like 5 pages of information to a woman. I never heard back from her, and I was like, "Oh no, I
So
just
let me
talked
let me
too
tell you
much."
let me tell you what they're gonna say. Okay. I'm gonna tell you. This is what they're gonna say. Either they're gonna say nothing,
Right.
or they're gonna say no thanks, not for me, or not right now, or they're gonna say, sure, send me some info.
Hmm.
That's it. That's the only thing they're gonna say. Some maybe they're gonna say, F you, get out of my life.
No,
But
the
that's the
people I
worst
run
case
with
scenario,
wouldn't say they
right?
would be silent.
Right. So that's literally that's all they're gonna say. So now you know. So now you can go do it.
Okay. I will in the morning tell everybody I appreciate you watching my stories and happy Memorial Day.
There you go. That's perfect. That's totally perfect.
Okay. And see that little short thing because I want to like tell everybody everything and like write a dissertation for them
Yeah. I
because
was
I
like
like
that too.
knowledge.
I was like that too. You know what? I'm gonna stop the recording because I realize like we're still going.
That's
But
okay. That's
and then
okay.
you and I can just keep talking. Okay.